section I'd like to talk about is string stretching. Basically, there's three types that I like to use. Some of these have been covered somewhat on the first video. The first one is called positive string stretching. That is where you practice and you learn to, as you stretch the string, to go right to the next note you want to. So if you were stretching a whole note, or a half note, or if you were doing a minor third, it's a method of where you know the exact note you're going to go to. The best way to kind of do that is if you have a recorder, you can record some chord stuff and then play over it and just make sure you're working on being in tune. That is something that's really important to work on because it gives a more positive approach to stretching the string rather than just aimlessly kind of stretching around, which will not sound quite as tasteful to do. And then besides that technique, there'd be more of the semitone type stretching, which is where you find kind of a place in between. And that's very well used with blues players. It's such as if you listen to B.B. King. It's always helpful to listen to blues records to kind of get that kind of inflection down. It's very useful no matter what kind of style you end up playing. And then another way that I like to kind of stretch strings is where I kind of stretch it and then pick the note. It's just kind of a fun thing I like to do. It kind of can mimic kind of a slide guitar type sound. You can also kind of get a steel guitar sound of it. Other variations on string stretching that I like to do is a technique, kind of a koto technique, which is a relatively simple technique to do. It involves both hands where you fret with the first finger of your right hand, and when you do that, you pick with the thumb of the right hand. And then you also can fret with the third finger of the left hand. But while you are fretting with your right hand, you can use that third finger of the left hand to actually stretch the note behind the note. Gives it kind of an interesting tone because you're actually picking right next to where you're fretting. So it's a little thinner and kind of koto-ish sounding. And so there's two ways you can do that. You can either stretch the note as you pick it on the right hand, by the left hand, or you can pop off the note from the right and leave the note on the left hand, like.